From clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4 p.m.
The stage is set. The stakes are high for the first presidential debate, all on the heels of a major Supreme Court ruling on abortion.
Plus, 2 new areas to watch in the tropics and what could be our next named storm by this weekend.
Then a woman's husband murdered on the job. Her message to his accused killer who faced a judge today. This is News 6 at 4. I'm Lisa Bell.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Julie Broughton. Let's go ahead and take a live look. We're taking a look at the high-stakes rematch between President Biden and former President Donald Trump. We are just about 5 hours away from both taking the stage for the first presidential debate as we take a live look in Atlanta.
The highly anticipated event now intensified by today's Supreme Court decision on a key election issue, abortion. Justices handed down a ruling allowing Idaho hospitals to provide abortions when needed in medical emergencies. The ruling is expected to have implications on multiple states, including Texas and Oklahoma, that have adopted near total bans, but not necessarily Florida, which bans the procedures after 6 weeks, with exceptions later on for certain health reasons. And as we take a live look back at the debate stage in Atlanta, abortion again expected to be a big topic during tonight's first 2024 presidential debate.
It is the earliest general election presidential debate in U.S. history and the first time a former president and current president are going head-to-head.
Both campaigns have spent the last few days and weeks preparing for what could be a pivotal night in the race for the White House. CBS's Skylar Henry is in Atlanta with the latest. Tonight's debate also comes with the first of its kind rules, including something we haven't seen since Kennedy and Nixon in the 1960s. We'll break down that part of the story at the bottom of the hour. And we'll also be joined by News 6 political expert Dr. Jim Clark on the importance of this debate and some of the other topics we can expect to hear. Again, that is coming up in 30 minutes.
All right now, things are starting to look a little better, but storms were firing up earlier for the drive home. This is a live look now over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando camera, and you can see some blue sky out there. And we could also earlier hear the thunder from our studios here at News 6. Chief Meteorologist Tom Searles is pinpointing any action on the radar. Tom.
Oh, got a lot of action to look at right now, Ginger. Let's take a look around. You see the activity blowing up pretty quickly here. Just outside of Pearson along Highway 17, lightning strikes, heavy rain coming down. Farther down to the south from Mims to Titusville, across the river, all the way up against Merritt Island. This particular cell packing a little bit of a wallop. No warnings issued with this, but it's all kind of pushing back out to the east. So just know, if you're in line, past Orlando, Winter Park, out to the east, more and more rain is coming your way. I'll put the entire viewing area back together at once. Everything is trucking this way on over to the east, and there, that little green seam, that is the East Coast sea breeze marching slowly in. Currently in Orlando, the rain hit OIA, so we have dropped off pretty quickly. We're holding at 81 degrees on the Light Orlando, delivering Hope camera. And in the tropics, real quick, a couple of big waves to watch. This one's not a threat. This one, well, this thing could be a hoss. I'll be back to talk more about what's going on with the tropics, the outlook, and your weekend ahead in minutes.
Tom, thank you. Those afternoon storms can always bring relief from the heat, and we definitely can use it.
Yeah, temperatures feeling like the triple digits once again. And as News 6's Catherine Silver reports, it is noticed. All right. Did she say 4th of July is next week? Because I'm recovering from that.
Yes.
It is crazy. Okay, so we've all had shoots outside because we're getting ready for the 4th of July.
Which is why we all look so great at 4 o'clock.
We're in that green room, and it's like someone put a hose on us. We got to pull it all together.
Thank goodness there's no smell-o-vision.
No, but I do have to say, like, that's when you really start to appreciate the people, the reporters like Catherine, who are out there day in and day out. I'm like, okay, I can do this a couple of days.
No, and you're just out for just a few seconds, and it hits you.
Yeah, even early, like walking the dog early in the morning, we get back, I'm like, why did I do my hair and makeup before we went for
a shower again. All right, so how are you getting some relief from the heat? Share your weather pics to our pins page. So I posted one today of a little bird. This little guy stopped by for some water. I don't think we're going to get a close-up of him, but I was worried about him. He dunked his whole head in the little water dish. I'm like, please Just
I'm
green.
seeing a snake on there right now. I got to look away.
We also have some gorgeous sunsets and storms on there. You can find it all at clickorlando.com/pins. But it was alarming because I walked out. Normally they fly away. He was just so hot. He just kept drinking.
Aw, poor guy.
I know. I was glad the water's out there. Well, a record-setting launch for SpaceX this morning when they completed the 22nd launch and landing of a Falcon 9 booster. SpaceX sent 23 new satellites into low Earth orbit aboard that Falcon 9 rocket. The rocket took off just before 7:15 this morning from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral. The record-setting landing happened just minutes later aboard the Just Read the Instructions drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. It was also just announced SpaceX will have a big part in the next era of space exploration. NASA has chosen them to build a new vehicle to deorbit the International Space Station at the end of its life in 2030. NASA is going to begin using commercially owned space stations once the ISS is gone, and SpaceX will help starting this new era. It's crazy because SpaceX has to build this vehicle to tow the ISS out of orbit so it can burn up. It's crazy.
Now at 4, a murder suspect on the run for weeks faced a judge this afternoon. Alex Lopez is accused of killing a 51-year-old store owner in Leesburg late last month. Terrifying surveillance video showed the senseless crime at the convenience store along Picciola Road. A special task force arrested Lopez last night, nearly a month after the victim was found at the M&M Food Mart off US 441. News 6 reporter Jarrell Baker spoke with the victim's wife, who was at the Osceola County Courthouse today. We will be hearing from her coming up on News 6 at 5. Well, if you think sinkholes in Florida are annoying, you need to see this next story.
A hole opens in the middle of a soccer field.
And it was all captured on video. The reason officials say caused the ground to collapse within just seconds. But first,
all the notes in here were done between the 1880s and 1890s. And if you open it, this is very fragile. You can see where the courthouse is located.
The hidden gems of downtown Orlando. Crystal Moyer has the insider guide to exploring the 32801 zip code. Tom.
Big scattered showers on radar right now. Most of these moving on over to the east. I'll be right back to pinpoint what it means for you. We'll break out the tropics and look ahead to your weekend.
You're watching News 6 at 4, getting results. We will be right back. During the break, we are streaming live on Facebook. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook right now.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Have electrical problems? Mr. Sparky has you covered. Visit Mr. Sparky Floor.
Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
well, when you think of downtown Orlando, you probably think of Lake Eola and the famous green fountain. But today's News 6 Insider Guide might change your mind.
If it's been a while since you've been downtown, you'll notice a lot of new businesses and attractions.
But some things have remained the same for over 100 years. News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer has a tour of the 32801 zip code.
That is so amazing that
Yes.
there's so much down there and we don't think about it.
Right, and oftentimes downtown Orlando can get a bad rap, and people
Correct.
feel like that it's not a safe place to go, but there are so many great places to visit.
There, besides Lake Eola, and I learned something really cool about Lake Eola that we're going to reveal on our next podcast, which airs on Monday. But it's a sinkhole, but not all of it is a sinkhole.
I didn't know that until you told me that when you got back from your shoot.
There's your tease for today.
Yeah.
So come out and meet us for a live broadcast at Lake Eola on Wednesday, July 4th during the annual fireworks at the fountain. Until then, we'll be sharing stories you asked us to cover. So join us 4 to 7 o'clock on July 4th next to the Swan Boat Rentals. We all know you know where that is.
Is that Wednesday or Thursday?
It's Thursday, right? Did I
Okay.
say Wednesday?
All right,
It's
Chief
Thursday.
Meteorologist
Today.
Confused.
Tom Sorrells is standing by, and we're hoping for temperatures like in the mid-70s for the next
Sweater
week.
weather.
Dude, I don't think there's sweater weather anywhere in the United States of America right now. I'm telling you, it is hot for June.
Yeah.
It feels like August. And even the ocean is thinking that it's August. Take a look at radar right now. Big explosive storms from Flagler County all the way down to Brevard. We have the East Coast sea breeze seaming up right there, and we have big rain to talk about in a large part of the viewing area. So come with me now. Here's Kissimmee all the way up 17. You see big rain falling in there. On over to St. Cloud, we have a touch of rain. Here's St. Cloud. Here's Ashton right in there. Pine Grove. Harmony about to get a little round of showers. And the attractions, Disney World, here's Epcot Center Drive, pouring on World Drive right now. So it's a soaker at Disney World. Mickey Mouse is getting wet, but not a lot of lightning embedded with that particular shower. Farther to the north, south of Flagler Beach, approaching you at Ormond Beach right in here. That one's packing a bunch of lightning strikes. And even farther down to the south, wow, Mims, Titusville, the Space Center, all over Merritt Island, big time rain, big time lightning ongoing at this hour. So widen the view back out. Winter Park had some rain. Orlando had the rain. It tagged the airport and dropped our temp. But things are going to calm down a little earlier tonight than they did last night. I think we're going to be done with most of this before 7:30. Now to the tropics. This wave is going to the Yucatan, not a threat to anyone in the US of A. This wave is going to be a hoss, a big storm, I really believe. If you look back through the records, we haven't had a hurricane way out here in the month of June since about 1933. The ocean is super hot. We're going to get super active. There's an 80% chance it could develop in the next week. By Monday, we could have a big hurricane in the Caribbean. Here's the heat index. That's going to be your big story between now and the next 7 days. It's flat out hot. In Daytona Beach, the temperature is 90. The real feel is 100. It's smoking hot just about everywhere, unless you've had the rain. Our temperature in Orlando crashed to 83 with a real feel of 90. But without rain, you see Wildwood, 90, feels like 100. Over on the coast, 92 in Cocoa Beach with a real feel past 100. Wind speed and direction all coming from the west right now. So the west coast sea breeze has been predominant and in charge. Here's our big ridge of high pressure off the east coast, blocking any big changes from happening. Clouds and rain forecast for tonight into tomorrow. Things do die down quickly tonight. Then through the day tomorrow, we go right back to explosive thunderstorms in the afternoon. Heaviest rain on the coast by 4 or 5, and then maybe a lingering shower or two, 8 or 9, but nothing big and rocking after about 7 o'clock. Rolling our way into Saturday, I think you know what's coming. Afternoon thunderstorms are here to stay. Here are the overnight lows tonight in Central Florida, 76 in Leesburg, 76 in Gainesville, 75 in Palm Coast, 78 at the Cape, and 77 in Melbourne. The overnight low tonight in the City Beautiful is 78. Lingering showers, breaks in the clouds should be pretty pleasant overnight. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
For tomorrow, by noontime, we're up to 88. Then the big showers kick in again. Rain chance for your Friday is 60%. Get used to that number. Come look at the week ahead. High tomorrow, 95, a 60% chance of rain. Comes Saturday, 94, Sunday, 94. It's the rain chances that will get you too. We're going to be above normal temperature-wise and really active with the rain.
All right, Tom, thank you. In a matter of seconds, a soccer field caves into a massive sinkhole.
Coming up, the video showing just how fast the ground gave way after officials say an underground mine collapsed. Stay with us. You're watching News 6 at 4, Getting Results.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Okay, look at this. A 100-foot wide sinkhole swallowed up a large section of an Illinois soccer field. That is crazy. And the cave-in was actually caught on camera. Alton Parks and Recreation released this video showing the moment. Gosh. The ground gave way, taking with a light pole in a huge section of that field. A construction company says an underground mine collapsed, causing the unexpected cave-in. No one was near the field when this happened, and park management immediately got on social media warning people to stay away while they investigate what happened.
Could you imagine if kids had
No, that would be awful. That is so alarming. And of course, it makes you wonder about all of the other facilities. And are you safe? Yeah.
How big is that mine?
Wow.
Well, in South Florida, the Stanley Cup win is making waves far beyond the world of hockey. A green sea turtle rescued by a nonprofit in Juno Beach just happened to be picked up by some Panthers fans. Now, his new name, you guessed it, Stanley. He's being treated by the Marine Life Center after plastic was found in his stomach. After a few weeks of rehab, Stanley should be healthy and sent back out to sea.
He is
glad
so
they found
pretty.
him. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, leaders in the town of Eatonville want a second look after Florida chooses a different city for its home of its first African-American museum.
Ahead at 4:30, the task force meeting tomorrow that could complicate those plans. We'll be right back.
Roofclaim.com, your easiest roof ever.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4:30.
There is a final push to bring the state's first Black History Museum to Central Florida. Right now, Eatonville is number 2 on the list. Town leaders want to change that tomorrow. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Julie Broughton. This is News 6 at 4:30, getting results.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. We told you just last month the task force overseeing the effort voted 5-4 to make St. Augustine their #1 choice for the museum and Eatonville #2. St. Augustine's website says the city is the birthplace of African American history, but Eatonville is known for being the oldest Black community in the entire nation. Tomorrow, that task force is meeting again. News 6's Laverne McGee joins us live. She's in Eatonville tonight. Laverne, the town is calling on the community to speak up about this.
That's right, Ginger. They really want to get as many people out to that meeting tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m., whether it's in person or via Zoom. It's in Tallahassee. But they say this could be the future site. This should be the future site of the African American Museum of History. And so the final report is due on Monday, and then it's the governor who will be deciding how things proceed. Reporting live in Eatonville, Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, Laverne, we shall wait and see. Thank you. Now, we posted details on how you can attend the meeting virtually and download the agenda. You can find that link with the information inside the story by going to clickorlando.com.
All right, we continue to count down to tonight's high-stakes presidential debate. The nation will get their first look this year at both candidates going head-to-head. The stage is set for President Joe Biden and his presumptive opponent, Donald Trump. As we take a live look in Atlanta, the 90-minute debate will be muted, except for the candidate whose turn it is to speak. The absence of a studio audience is also different from previous presidential debates. News 6's political expert, Dr. Jim Clark, joins us now live in studio to break down what we can expect tonight. And Jim, as you know, this is the first time they have come face-to-face on the debate stage since October of 2020. And so much has changed since then, to say the least.
Dr. Jim Clark, we always appreciate your insight. Thank you for that. We'll be hearing much more from you in the coming months, of course. Coverage of tonight's debate begins at 8 o'clock with the presumptive nominees taking the stand at 9 p.m. You can expect a full recap tonight on News 6 at 11.
Turning now to a live look from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera over downtown Orlando. With those summer storms popping up and the tropics active, now is a good time to download the News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. And if you're one of the thousands of people who use it every day, you may have noticed some changes. We've deployed stronger radar technology to give you more precise pinpointing, but with the update comes questions. And meteorologist Jonathan Kagas dedicated his most recent WeatherWise to bringing you answers.
One of the most frequently asked questions so far with the app is, how do I get back to the home screen? It's a really good question. Locate the pinpoint weather icon. It's in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Just tap that, and that's going to take you right back to where you were on the home screen. Another frequently asked question here, it's the location. How do I set the location? And then we're going to break down each section here. So right up at the top of your screen, you see the date. To the right of that, you see that little kind of pinpoint thing. Click that. It's right next to the gear in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It's going to bring up a bunch of different things. You can either turn on your current location, which I highly recommend. That way, if there's any alerts, it's going to follow you, and you can stay up to date on any kind of weather situation. And then you can also add a bunch of locations around Central Florida or around the country, and you're going to get updates on the weather there as well. So you can add Mims, Titusville. If you have a spot that you like to go to in Marion County, maybe the Ocala, around Ocala or in Brevard County or anything like that. You can have a bunch of those sets, and you can have the alerts turn on or off just by hitting that on the right-hand side, that blue bar, or once that circle goes to the right and turns blue, that's when you know the alert is enabled for that location.
Jonathan also did an extensive deep dive on the new and improved radar, including how you can track the future forecast and the different settings. You can get his full tutorial and his helpful tips in his latest WeatherWise segment on clickorlando.com and News 6 Plus. Again, the Pinpoint Weather app is free. Download it by searching WKMG in your app store.
I'm so glad you brought up that it looks different.
Yes.
I thought I had accidentally deleted, because you know I like to pin.
Yes.
I like to pin some pictures, and
Yes.
I couldn't find it this morning, and I just did a search. I'm like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah, lots of people have been asking those questions, so I'm glad he did that. You've probably heard our very own Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells is retiring tomorrow after more than 2 decades here at News 6.
And with that, we have one final episode of Talk to Tom to share.
That's right. Coming up, the special guest, once known as America's most trusted newsman, and his story of navigating a health crisis at the height of his career. Tom.
Can I tell you, man, I saved the best for last. He's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Take a look at what's happening on radar. We've got big trouble in Brevard County. Severe thunderstorm warning ongoing right now. Heavy lightning, heavy rain. Boy, it's just a mess. All of this going out to the east. We're going to roll right over top of the Space Center now and out into the open waters in the next few minutes. I'll be back to pinpoint the rest of the area and have the 7-day forecast.
You're watching News 6 at 4:30. Getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by your Central Florida Honda dealers. News 6 hit the road to East Orlando and asked you to tell us your concerns about your community. You said this dangerous abandoned mobile home park was a neighborhood hazard.
It looks like, a bomb or a hurricane just went through there.
So we got to work, investigated, and got results. Now it's being torn down. Meeting you and helping make positive change in the community is why News 6 is hitting the road. How can we help you? Go to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad now and let us know. Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
All right, severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for Brevard County. You see the lightning strikes in the Space Center all over Merritt Island, pushing out to the Cape at about 15 miles per hour. This goes until 5 o'clock, so it's only about another 15 minutes from now. Severe thunderstorm warning for Brevard County only. It's my only warning that we've had all day, and really, I think that's going to be the end of it. I don't think anything else gets warned. We've got scattered showers across the area. Kissimmee had big rain earlier. It's all moved on over to Harmony now, from Pine Grove to Harmony. And the big rain around the attractions on top of Disney has shrunk down to along 192. That's about it. Farther to the north, Flagler Beach had big rain earlier. That has calmed down. All the big messes seem to be checking out, except for that one little pocket right there with the warning for you in Brevard County. Tropics, monster wave out there that we're watching for development in the next 7 days. In Daytona Beach right now, it's still 91 degrees, the real feel of 105. Winds are pushing pretty well. Here's the way it breaks out tonight. It's almost over. Another hour and a half from now, I think the rain is gone. Through the day tomorrow, similar rain pattern on the East Coast. Lows tonight, mostly in the 70s. The overnight low in Orlando is 78. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
High tomorrow, low to mid 90s, rain chance is 60%, and we have a 60% chance of rain for just about as far as we can see, and it's hot, hot, hot. 1 week from today is the 4th of July with a 40% chance of rain.
All right, Tom, thank you. He was once called America's most trusted newsman.
Yeah, many of you may remember spending your early mornings with Mark McEwen on the CBS Morning Show, and then later right here on News 6.
But not long after he moved to Orlando, life took an unexpected turn. Tom.
All right, boy, does this guy have stories to tell. You think I can tell stories? My stories are nothing compared to his. I had the pleasure of interviewing my buddy Mark McEwen for the final episode of my podcast that we call Talk to Tom. Here's Mark. What a guy, man. I'm telling you, the dude's got stories for days. We didn't even get to the Garth Brooks story in that particular presentation. We're eventually going to put all this up on YouTube, and you can watch the whole thing. He's just the best. He's made a huge rebound, fought back, as he said. He's awesome.
I love that he said you were really good.
Yeah.
He's right.
Thank you.
All right. Anchor Matt Austin is standing by in studio now with what's coming up. Matt.
Mark McEwen makes everybody feel like his best friend. That's the thing I love about that guy. Relief on I-4, where the state just announced it's putting 2 new lanes. Plus, it's dubbed as dangerous and a high crash intersection. Tonight, neighbors are pushing for results. The change, they say, could make a big difference. And a crazy story. Deputies rushed to save a couple attacked and mauled by their own dog. We're there for the reunion.